Whew, man, I'm gonna be honest. Start working, and I forgot to start filming. So, it's been a few days since I had pulled out on the chevette. Obviously, the AC condenser's out, everything's out. A couple things that I've been doing in the shadows here is I got rid of the old school motor mounts. Hold on one second. That drop rod up here. I got rid of the motor mounts. I cleaned up some of the wiring. I did leave the starter, the alternator, and all that stuff left. The headlights are there. The wiper box is still there, or wiper motor stuff's still there. So the plan of attack is, ignore that. The plan of attack is I have these motor mounts that obviously I haven't shown yet. I don't remember. These are small block Chevy universal mounts. So what I did was I drilled this hole out. I found this bolt, and basically what I've decided to do, and this is just obviously theory, is drop that into the ground there. I just did it with one or both hands real quick. So what I did was I drilled that hole out. I'm going to use these pre-existing holes that were from the excuse me there, throttle cable from the previous engine mounts, and I'm going to kind of line them up like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that bolt hole there, but I'm going to make a spacer. These are actually where that black mark is from forward is going to get bent over and probably welded to the I'm going to zoom out here, welded to the subframe right here, so that way the engine mounts will stay stationary, so will stay solid where they're at pretty much. They'll adapt to the cross member for added weight, so that way maybe if in the future if I had to take the cross member out, I could just take those bolts out in theory and drop the cross member. Obviously theory is like, you know, 80% of the build, but as you just saw a few seconds ago, sorry, I'm holding the camera horribly wrong. As you saw a few seconds ago, the series is on the ground. Now, I had to take the intake and the exhaust manifold and turbo off because just trying to work around all that stuff was just, well, you're an idiot if you try to, I feel. Or, well, I think it's less difficult. But anyways, so I got the adapter plate on. I'll be honest, this bolt hole is a little fucked up from the threads. And then also, I've got this bolt hole right here is a little fucked up too. So I'm gonna have to clean those out, maybe. I don't know. I've already torqued all this, the adapter hub that's on the back side of here down. I don't know what these are supposed to be torqued to, but we'll figure it out later. But right now I have the flex plate on. One of the things that I am looking for is actually my bolts. So the kit came with these ARP bolts for the flex plate that is supposed to go in there, and I can't find the rest of them. So I've got to find the rest of those first before I can finish the rest of this. And then I got to pull the Blazer out, which I drove yesterday and drove like a fucking champion. Got to pull that out, and then I can drag the transmission, which is on the other side of the barrel and Blazer, over here and bolt it up, and hopefully bolt up the torque converter to it as well. Put any of that in, I'm going to take the cross member and bolt it straight back in there, so that way I can line up the power glide if it needs to and see if it even fits anywhere near that. If not, I think if it does, if it does, I'm probably going to plate that hole and then just weld a plate over it, and then just drill the holes for whatever mount that I choose to go with. We'll get back to you. I don't know if it'll be right away, but it'll be as soon as I get the whole engine and transmission and everything together. I hope if I can just get it all together, I can just sit it on the ground and not have to like separate it and put it back on an engine stand or nothing like that. But well, I found the rest of my bolts. They were actually sitting stuck under between this shelf and this shelf. They're just got my flex plate on there, got it all torqued down, marked it. This looks like a angry sun or butthole. I don't know. You take your pick. But next thing I'm gonna do is it's actually touching the ground. It's sitting level. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull Blazer out, back it out, go grab my transmission over there. I think my biggest worry in this whole thing with the transmission and everything like that is gonna be clearance of not only this, but clearance of this piece right here, because the transmission comes up to a little peak. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna wing it and hopefully it works. I mean, I have a turbo 400 over here on my LS, and I only use like four bolts, 5 bolts, whatever I use one less than whatever the bell housing is actually has, or the engine. I can't remember. It's one of those things. It's been a while since I've had that motor out. One of the things I might plan on doing is maybe having somebody weld some nuts to the backside here, and then just have like a plate. So on the front side here, that this just like it like slides in and it locks forward, and then just have bolts here just for, I don't know, whatever added safety measure in terms of keeping the engine straight and you know, in place. Kind of a thought, kind of an afterthought deal. I mean, I could build like a sandwich plate where it just drops down and slides in like this, and then just 2 bolts just come through, and I have to like sit in the dark and try and get the nuts on. I don't know. It is a thought. It is an idea. Whether or not I'll run with it, that's the next question. So I am gonna get all that stuff out of the way, and I'll be right back. Well, it's hot. I have the fan going. Probably not going to be any cooler going into the evening here down in Missouri. One of the things that just happened here is I took my dog for a walk. I came back, and I did mate the transmission and the adapter plate / engine together and all that jazz. One of the things that turn that off. One of the things that happened is, you can see where I have some marker. The starter spur gear and all that stuff actually rubs, if you can see that there, some of that gray there, it rubs right where that little streak is against the bell housing. I don't have a carbide bit, so I'm going to death wheel this thing out a little bit. Not the brightest idea I've ever had in my life, probably not the brightest idea anybody's ever had, but I'm sure it's been done more than once. But I am going to... Sorry, I just see a bolt on the floor that I don't know what it's for. You ever have that happen? I do. But I'm gonna buzz that out and just see how much clearance I get out of it. Hopefully it alleviates that issue. But other than that, I mean, it literally bolted together just fine until I got like to like that far, and then it didn't want to go any. Well, I mean, it went in all the way, but you could just feel the tension against the starter. As you can see here, it kind of scratched it a little bit. So I'm gonna buzz that out real quick, and then I'll give you an update. I've clearanced the bell housing about right in this area right here. Hopefully it's enough for the starter to engage and spin over. I had the bright idea that I was gonna try and engage the starter with the battery and jump it, see if it worked. But this battery right here is for the Chevette that powers a 60 horsepower 1.6 liters engine. So that starter is very small and weak compared to starter, which is for a V10 Dodge. That's right, a V10 Dodge. It has a billet adapter plate right here that runs out. Worst case is that it clearances itself a little bit more, but I don't know, we'll see. At this point in time, I'd like to start mocking up the engine and transmission into the car. I don't know why I said it like that. Car. I'm hitting them high notes. But I'm going to put the engine and transmission into the car, hopefully Saturday. It's Thursday night. I got to work tomorrow. I work at 24 tomorrow. So hopefully, maybe this weekend we'll stab it in there. And I did some tubing. This is 120 wall steel, 1.5 inch diameter. So hopefully that will be enough, and this engine won't, you know, twist and bend and whatever. But for now, I'm just gonna end this video right here. Like I said, I got the engine, transmission together. We're gonna put it into the car, and we're gonna start trying to test fit it. I have a good feeling that this is gonna go well, but it probably won't go well, because as all things in the car world go, nothing goes well. I.e., I had to clearance this bell housing for the starter. I didn't think about the SFI bell housing being thicker. Now, if it was a stock Power Glide casing with stock bell housing, it probably would have not, you know, probably would have not needed to clearance it like I did. I probably took about a good like 1/16 of an inch out of the bell housing, I feel. I probably should take more, but you know, maybe it'll clearance itself. Who knows? You know, we know how it goes with this, all this stuff. So again, I'm gonna end this video right here. Engine, transmission are together as one. Everything's perfect. I think that the converter is probably gonna need spacers at best. I hope. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's not that long, but I mean, progress is progress. I'll see you in the next one.